A tree does not grow tall because the wind is gentle. It grows tall because the storms demand it, and so it is with you. Before you give up, remember the challenge in front of you was not sent to destroy you, but to teach you who you truly are. When most people see a barrier in their way, their first instinct is to step back. The mind immediately whispers, "This is wrong, this shouldn't be here." But the truth, ancient and unshaken, is that the obstacle is not a mistake, it is the way forward. Imagine walking through a forest. You follow a clear trail until it is blocked by a fallen tree. You could turn back and return to where you started, or you could climb over it, crawl beneath it, or cut through it. Each option requires effort, strength, and patience. But whichever you choose, you leave that obstacle stronger than when you met it. Without the tree, you would never have discovered how strong your legs, arms, or mind could be. Life places these fallen trees in your path not to stop you, but to shape you. In the discipline of Shaolin training, there is no comfort without challenge. Students are not taught through easy victories, they are shaped by the resistance they encounter. One might be asked to hold a low horse stance for what feels like endless minutes, while the legs shake and the mind screams for relief. This is not punishment, it is the lesson. Without that trembling, without that ache, the student would never feel the depth of their own endurance. The same is true in your life. The problem you face right now is not separate from your growth. It is your growth. Without it, you would remain in the version of yourself you are today, never touching the deeper strength that sleeps inside you. When we think of progress, we often imagine smooth roads and supportive winds. But true progress looks different. It is rough. It is uneven. It asks you to carry more than you believe you can bear. The journey of the Shaolin monk is filled with physical tests, but the real battle is in the mind. When the legs are weak, the mind must become strong. When the body wants to quit, the mind must command it forward, and here lies the essence of the obstacle. It is a mirror. It reflects your current limits so clearly that you cannot look away. It forces you to see yourself as you are, and it dares you to become more. Think about water flowing down a mountain. It does not stop when a rock blocks its way. It curves, it splits, it pushes, it finds another route. Over time, it can even carve the stone itself. That is the nature of persistence. If you meet a wall and decide it is the end, you stop your own journey. But if you see the wall as part of the road, as the very thing you must pass through, then every step becomes training. You stop asking, "Why me?" and start asking, "What is this here to teach me?" The answer may not come immediately, but every attempt to climb, break, or go around that wall changes you. In the stillness of the monastery, it is common to hear a teaching: the way you face one challenge is the way you face all challenges. If your habit is to turn away, you will turn away again when the next difficulty comes. If your habit is to meet resistance with courage, then every obstacle becomes an opportunity to grow sharper, stronger, and more patient. This is why obstacles are sacred in the Shaolin path. They are not curses. They are the forge that shapes the blade. Every cut, every strike, every moment in the fire is part of the process that makes the blade unbreakable. The greatest misunderstanding is believing that life's challenges are detours. They are not. They are the main road. The disappointment you feel, the failure you have tasted, the pain you carry, these are not side notes in your story. They are the very pages on which your story is written. And just as a mountain's beauty is defined by its steep cliffs and jagged edges, your own beauty is defined by the hardships you have climbed through. Once you understand this truth, you stop resisting the obstacles and begin to welcome them as allies. They will not make the road easy, but they will make you extraordinary. When most people decide to start something, a new habit, a skill, a goal, they wait for a spark. They want to feel ready, to feel inspired, to feel driven. But the Shaolin path teaches something very different. If you wait for motivation, you will wait forever. Motivation is like the morning mist, soft, beautiful, but gone as soon as the sun rises. Discipline, however, is the stone path beneath your feet. It is solid, dependable, and will carry you forward even when the sky is dark and the winds are cold. Without discipline, motivation fades into nothing. With discipline, motivation becomes unnecessary. In the temple, the day begins long before the sun rises. There is no question of do I feel like it today. The body rises when the bell rings. The training begins whether the muscles are sore, whether the mind is tired, whether the air is freezing. Over time, this daily ritual removes the need for internal debate. The body simply acts. This is the secret of discipline. It frees you from the trap of relying on fleeting emotions. You no longer wait to feel ready, you simply begin. And once you begin, readiness often follows. Many people misunderstand the relationship between action and motivation. They believe that motivation comes first, then action follows, but the reverse is often true. Action itself creates motivation. When you move, when you take a single step toward your goal, the mind begins to respond. You feel the blood flow, the focus sharpen, the sense of progress awaken. This is why discipline is so powerful. It gets you moving before the mind has a chance to fill itself with excuses. In the same way, a Shaolin student begins their form before their mind has time to think about how tired they are. The movement comes first, the energy comes after. Discipline also builds something that motivation cannot trust in yourself. When you act only when inspired, you cannot depend on your own consistency. But when you act because you have chosen to, regardless of how you feel, you begin to believe in your own strength. In Shaolin training, this trust is vital. A student must trust that they can endure the next round, the next drill, the next stance. Without that self-trust, they will hesitate, and hesitation is the seed of defeat. Discipline waters the opposite seed, the one that grows into confidence. The danger of relying on motivation is that it fades in the face of difficulty. When things go wrong, when progress slows, when results don't appear as quickly as expected, motivation collapses, but discipline stands firm. A disciplined person trains on the days they are excited and on the days they dread it. They work when the rewards are visible and when the rewards feel far away. This is why discipline is the foundation of all mastery. Without it, progress will always be interrupted by the ups and downs of emotion. The Shaolin way reminds us, a strong mind commands the body, not the other way around. If you let your feelings decide your actions, you will be weak when the feelings are weak. But if you let your chosen actions lead the way, you will find that your feelings often catch up. And even when they don't, your path remains steady. Discipline is the silent strength, the unshakable ground, the invisible armor that carries you forward when nothing else will. Once it is forged, you will no longer ask, "Do I feel like it?" You will simply say, "It is time," and you will begin. A single drop of water falling on a stone seems meaningless. One drop will not change the shape of the stone, but if the drops keep falling day after day, year after year, the stone will wear away. It will bend to the persistence of the water. This is how transformation works. It is rarely sudden. It is the result of slow, consistent effort that seems invisible in the moment. The Shaolin way teaches that if you only value speed, you will give up before the results appear. But if you value persistence, even the smallest progress will keep you moving forward. In the monastery, a student might practice the same form thousands of times. From the outside, it may look repetitive, even pointless. But each repetition shapes something deeper, not only the body's movements, but the mind's patience. You may not notice your growth in the moment, just as you cannot see the shadow of a tree lengthen as you watch. But one day, you will realize the movement that once felt impossible has become effortless. This is the quiet power of steady effort. It works in silence, hidden from your daily sight, until one day it reveals itself. The danger for many is impatience. They compare their journey to others, forgetting that the seed of a bamboo tree spends years underground before it rises. In those years, it looks as though nothing is happening. But beneath the surface, roots are growing strong enough to support the towering stalk it will one day become. If the roots are rushed, the stalk will fall. Your own progress is no different. The seasons of slow growth are building the unseen foundation you will need when your moment comes. Shaolin training often uses nature as a guide. Think of winter. To the untrained eye, it looks like the earth is asleep, that nothing is alive, but deep within the soil, life is preparing. Roots are storing strength, seeds are waiting for warmth, the ground is gathering what it needs for spring. In your life, slow progress is that winter. It may not be visible to you or to others, but something is always moving within you if you are consistent in your actions. Another danger is measuring your progress too often. If you stare at a plant and expect it to grow before your eyes, you will only feel frustration. The same happens when you judge yourself every day and fail to see immediate change. In Shaolin, we measure progress not in days but in seasons, not in moments but in years. This shift in perspective removes the impatience that steals energy. When you trust that progress is happening, even if it's hidden, you can focus on the process instead of constantly questioning the results. There is a saying, if you do not stop walking, you will arrive. The speed does not matter as much as the fact that you keep going. Even one small step is a victory if it keeps you on the path. And when you finally look back, you will see that those small steps, taken again and again, have carried you across mountains. Slow progress is not weakness, it is endurance, and endurance is the quality that turns ordinary effort into extraordinary achievement. Pain is often misunderstood. Most people see it as a signal to stop, as proof that something has gone wrong. But in the Shaolin way, pain is not the enemy, it is a messenger. It speaks to you in a language that cannot be ignored. When your muscles ache, when your breath burns, when your mind is stretched to its limit, these are moments when pain is whispering, here is where you grow. Without this discomfort, you would never step beyond the limits you have known. In the temple, training is designed to meet you at the edge of your comfort and push you just beyond it. Holding a stance until the legs tremble, striking a post until the skin hardens, repeating a movement until sweat blinds the eyes, these moments are not there to break you, but to show you the truth. Your limits are far beyond what you believe. Without pain, the lesson would never be fully learned. Pain marks the border between who you are and who you can become. The trouble is that most of us have been taught to run from pain. We seek comfort, we seek ease, we seek the soft path. But the soft path does not make a warrior. The soft path does not sharpen the blade. If you avoid all discomfort, you also avoid the depth of transformation. Pain, when understood, becomes a guide. It points to the exact place in your life where strength must be built. A sore muscle tells you which part of the body is growing stronger. An aching heart tells you which part of the spirit is learning resilience. In Shaolin philosophy, pain is not just physical. It can be mental, emotional, even spiritual. The sting of failure, the loneliness of loss, the frustration of slow progress, these are also forms of pain. But like the fire that tempers steel, these experiences forge character. A life without struggle may feel pleasant, but it produces no depth. A life that embraces pain as a teacher produces wisdom, compassion, and a strength that cannot be taken away. The key is to listen to pain, not to be ruled by it. In training, there is a difference between pain that signals growth and pain that signals injury. The first is to be welcomed, the second to be respected. In life, the same applies. When pain comes, ask what it is telling you. Is it warning you to change your method, or is it asking you to persist through resistance? This awareness is part of mastery, the ability to work with pain, to learn from it, to let it shape you without letting it consume you, and so pain becomes the companion of growth. Not as an enemy chasing you down, but as a wise master walking beside you, showing you where the real lessons are hidden. You do not have to enjoy pain to respect it. You do not have to seek it for its own sake. But when it arrives, as it always will, you can bow to it, thank it, and let it do its work. For when pain leaves, it always leaves a gift behind, a stronger body, a steadier mind, and a deeper understanding of yourself. In the Shaolin way, mastery is never measured by the trophy on the shelf or the applause from the crowd. It is measured by the quiet moments of practice when no one is watching and no recognition is coming. A student who ties their worth to immediate results will soon be disappointed, for results are not always in your control. What you can control is the process, the hours you train, the attention you bring, the discipline you keep. When your heart is in the process, the outcome becomes a byproduct, not the goal. The danger of focusing only on the result is that it makes you impatient. You work hard for a short time, expecting instant change. When the change doesn't come, frustration grows and your effort fades. But when you shift your focus to the process, every small action becomes a victory. Each repetition, each correction, each breath of concentration is a step forward. This way, progress is measured not in sudden leaps, but in the steady rhythm of consistent practice. In the monastery, a novice may spend months learning only how to stand correctly before being allowed to move into the next phase of training. To an outsider, this may seem like wasted time, but to the master, it is the foundation on which everything else is built. Without the stance, there is no strike. Without the strike, there is no form. By focusing on the stance, the process, the student develops patience, humility, and attention to detail. These qualities, once built, will carry them to success long after the initial excitement has faded. When you detach from the outcome, you also free yourself from fear. If your mind is fixed only on winning, then every mistake feels like failure. But if your mind is fixed on learning, then every mistake is simply part of the lesson. This is why the process is so important. It removes the pressure of perfection. Instead of asking, "Did I succeed?" you begin asking, "What did I learn?" And the more you learn, the more capable you become. Nature offers the same wisdom. A farmer does not pull on the shoots of his crops to make them grow faster. He waters them, tends the soil, removes the weeds, and trusts the seasons. The growth happens as a result of this care. In the same way, your growth will happen if you keep tending to the process, even if you cannot yet see the fruit. You must trust that the results will come in their time, as long as you remain faithful to your practice. So the way forward is simple, though not always easy. Keep your eyes on what you can control and release what you cannot. Train because training itself makes you better. Work because the work itself makes you stronger. The day will come when the results appear, and when they do, you will realize that the real reward was not the outcome at all, but the person you became through the process. A sword can be taken from your hands. Fortress can be broken. Strength in the body will one day fade, but a mind trained to remain steady under pressure cannot be conquered. In the Shaolin tradition, every strike, every stance, every moment of stillness is meant to train the mind as much as the body. Without a strong mind, physical strength is like a blade without a handle, sharp but useless, dangerous even to the one who wields it. In the temple, students endure not only physical tests but mental ones. They may be told to hold a posture until the legs burn, while the instructor quietly walks away, leaving them alone with their thoughts. In those moments, the real battle begins not against fatigue, but against the voice that says, "I can't." The untrained mind listens to that voice and obeys. The trained mind hears it and keeps going. This is the essence of mental mastery, to act according to your purpose, not your passing emotions. The mind is also the first place where defeat takes root. Before a body surrenders, the mind has already decided to quit. This is why training the mind is not optional, it is essential. If you can control your thoughts, you can control your actions. And if you can control your actions, you can shape your life. In Shaolin wisdom, victory is won in the mind long before it is seen in the world. But a strong mind is not built in comfort. It is forged in moments when giving up would be easier. It is built by sitting in silence when your thoughts are restless, by moving forward when fear tells you to stop, by holding discipline when excuses come rushing in. Every time you resist the urge to quit, you add another layer of steel to your mental armor. Over time, this armor becomes unbreakable, not because you never feel doubt, but because you have learned to move forward despite it. A powerful mind is not a rigid mind. In the Shaolin way, the mind is trained to be both strong and flexible, like bamboo, unshakable in its roots, yet able to bend without breaking. This flexibility allows you to adapt when plans change, to remain calm when the unexpected happens, and to find solutions when the direct path is blocked. The untrained mind sees change as chaos. The trained mind sees it as another path forward. And so, the greatest weapon you can ever carry is not in your hands, but in your head. When your mind is disciplined, no setback can destroy you, no obstacle can trap you, and no defeat can define you. You move through life like the master who steps into the ring already knowing the outcome, not because they underestimate the challenge, but because they have already won the battle within. The storms will come, the obstacles will rise, the pain will visit, but you are not here to live a life free of challenges, you are here to grow because of them. Every trial you face is sharpening your spirit. Every step you take, no matter how slow, is carrying you forward. And every moment you choose discipline over doubt, you are forging a mind and a heart that cannot be broken. Before you give up, remember this: the mountain before you is not blocking your path. It is your path. Climb it, and you will discover the view was worth every step.